South of Midnight was one of those games I clocked back in 2023 at the Xbox Showcase. It looked cool, but I had no idea if it would actually go anywhere. The art style caught my eye, the Southern folklore setting intrigued me, but after that, radio silence. Now, 2 years later, I've spent just under 20 hours with it, and seen nearly everything it has to offer, and I've got thoughts. So, was it worth the wait? Sort of. Let's talk about it. Quick disclosure, I received this free review copy via Xbox and Compulsion Games through Keymailer. I played it on PC using a controller, which the game seems to be well optimized for. Let's start with something personal. Action-adventure games aren't usually my thing, but this one reminded me of my early Xbox 360 days, where I played games like Cameo, not because they were good per se, but because they were there on release, filling the gap before Halo 3 would drop and take over my life. South of Midnight has that same feeling of discovery, which has brought some added nostalgia to my playthrough, and I found myself drawn in despite the genre. The first thing that stands out is the art style. It's polarizing. The claymation-like character designs, the deliberate skip frames mimicking stop motion, it's bold. At first I was worried. That kind of visual style often gets mistaken for poor performance on video games. But once I was in, my brain adjusted and it stopped bothering me entirely. The game is beautiful. The environments shift from bayous to mountaintops, farmlands to riverbanks, each chapter framed like a page out of a dark southern fairy tale. There's a Tim Burton-esque vibe to the characters that deepens the surreal tone as you progress. I feel like I should mention, as folklore typically does, it does have some truly dark moments scattered throughout, but equally touching ones as well to even it out. As a Canadian, I don't have much real-life context for the American South, so diving into the setting and its mythos was fascinating. You play as Hazel Flood, a recent high school grad trying to rescue her mother amidst a hurricane-ravaged world. She's a weaver, able to see and resolve emotional scars that manifest as monsters, called haints. The deeper Hazel goes into this world, the more she bridges between reality and a more dreamlike folkloric realm. Some standout moments, like the Hugging Betty sequence, play with traditional fairy tales that I grew up and knew, but are what I assume must be the South's version of them, bringing with it raw emotional weight. It's spooky, rich, and surprisingly grounded. Narratively, it's structured as a storybook. Each chapter introduces a new setting and layer to Hazel's journey. The core story is familiar, but it's laced with themes of generational trauma, corporate exploitation, and how pain warps people and places. Some chapters drag a bit, but the mythos kept me going. Now, gameplay. It's fine, it's serviceable. You've got basic platforming, some exploration, and arena-style combat set up throughout the explorable sections. As you progress, you collect strands that let you upgrade abilities, but the actual combat loop gets repetitive by the final quarter. New enemy types stop appearing, and the final battles start to blur together. Even the boss fights, despite looking incredible, feel mechanically shallow and repetitive as you reach more. That said, the game does offer the ability to skip combat or chase scenes, which is a nice accessibility option or a godsend if you, like me, started to burn out. I do want to make clear though, the gameplay isn't bad. It's just kind of what you would expect in an action adventure, searching out collectibles in hard to reach areas using deductive reasoning to figure out how to get there. You want to because of the story, and it is fun. The combat only becomes stale in my opinion in the last quarter, and it's only because of no more new enemies, and the same loop becomes apparent at that point. One mechanic I loved was Crouton, Hazel's possessed toy companion. He helps access hidden areas, and some of these secrets lead to cozy animal dens that feel pulled straight out of a Beatrix Potter book, like stumbling into a page from Peter Rabbit. It's these quiet little vignettes that really stood out and were fun, especially with the context that my girlfriend has a huge collection of them. The music deserves a shout out. Sometimes it's diegetic, the characters singing them, other times it's mood-setting ambience. There are a few mismatched tracks here and there, but overall, the soundtrack is charming, strange, and adds to the personality of each chapter. And there's some really standout ones that really got me locked back into the game. Some songs are as silly as repeating the boss's name in chant, but it works.
The whole thing was forced to make do with so damn little.
In the end, South of Midnight is about 10 to 12 hours long, with 20 plus if you go completionist. I wouldn't pay full price at $40, but it's perfect for a rainy day in on Game Pass. And it's not that I don't think it's worth it, it's just Game Pass is such a good value, especially if you just do a trial. Do check out my link below if interested. If you're in the mood for a game that's visually distinct, emotionally grounded, and just weird enough to be memorable, give it a shot. Not every part hits, but the parts that do, they linger and are definitely beautiful and rich with the Southern folklore. Which I want to reiterate one more time is what drew me in and had me looking for every note possible to understand this world more, partially why I have so many hours. If you like this review, check out my review playlist for more and consider subscribing. I've got my eyes on Expedition 33, the Blue Prince game, and maybe even Avowed, assuming that the rumored Oblivion remaster doesn't drop first. Until next time, toodaloo.